So at $107, and yes, I am in a car. The first ever car review from the Cheap Audio Man. Not a car review, but in the car review. Anyway, for $107, the Hifiman HE400SE. Is that right? That was right. Anyway, this headphone is like the biggest no-brainer for people just getting into open back headphones or headphones in general. But there's two things that could be deal breakers. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee or a soda, and let's talk about the Hifiman HE400SE. So most of the new Hifiman headphones come with what they call the stealth technology, which is an update on the planar magnetic drivers. What I do know about the stealth driver technology is the shape of the bars in front of the drivers is, I believe, smaller, and there's less of them, so it doesn't impact the sound as much. From a build quality perspective, you know, they're not bad. Frankly, they're pretty good compared to a lot of other headphones in this price category. It is plastic here, very nice, very padded on the bottom. On the top, no real padding, but why would you need padding over there? Plastic right here. The arms, almost 100% these are metal. Sometimes you can get that plastic that feels like metal, but it's not really metal. Pretty sure these are metal, so this is metal. Then it has the clickies right here, pivots like this. The ear cups have 3.5 millimeter connections, which is a little bit different from most of the Hifiman stuff. It used to be 2.5 millimeter connections on everything. Ear pads are, this is kind of a soft velour right here. The outside, I would say, is protein leather, and you can kind of see the drivers right there. Not only can you see it, you can kind of see it go directly through it. Since I filming this in a car and there's a lot of ambient light, it's kind of cool right there. You can see right through it. On the back side, you can see there's a mesh covering right here, and I would say the sound stage on these isn't super wide, and when I had these lying on the desk just playing, I did notice that it didn't seem like it was super open on the back. So while it is an open back headphone, I think this mesh grill is impeding some of the sound coming out of the back. Fit wise, even I wear glasses too now. Fit wise, I didn't really have any issue. And even when I put these on, my voice got a little bit deeper from what I'm hearing it. So these aren't completely open, like there's nothing on the back. So there is a little bit of sound mitigation coming out of the side. Then the cups right here are made out of plastic. Overall, I don't really have any complaints on these, especially at $107. $150, I don't think I'd really have any issue with the build quality on these. I think they're pretty good. They're also pretty light. The headphones that I compared these to are the Hifiman Edition XS. That's a $500 headphone. I did this, so it's $500 headphone. So obviously there are going to be some differences, or there better be some differences. The cable that it comes with is a rubberized cable. And again, for $107 or even $150, I don't really have any issues with the cable. It has a 90-degree 3.5 millimeter termination that goes into whatever you're plugging it into. And then the two 3.5 millimeter ear cup terminations. All right, so this thing is a 6-footer. And actually the cables, you know, it's not bad. So you're gonna be able to train this, kind of get it worked out. So I don't really mind the cable all that much. I think it's good, especially at the price. I think this is a good cable for a $107 headphone. Build quality for the price, I would say, is excellent. Then it also comes with a 6.35 millimeter adapter. Let's go drive to another state. State number 3. That's right, we made it through 3. Okay, so deal breaker, potential deal breaker number 1 is just how much power these require. I think the sensitivity is rated at 91 dB, which isn't super ultra low, but I will say on this trip, obviously I used two different dongle DACs. One was the Hi-Vis S9 Pro. The other was the, forget the name of it. It's that R2R one. I can't believe, I'll like do text. I can't believe I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, they both have a balanced output, but I did not have a balanced cable for the Hifiman HE400SE, which is basically either a 2.5 millimeter connection to two 3.5 millimeter connections. So you can do a balance that way, or you can do a 4.4 pentagon. Anyway, I didn't have either one of those cables, so I had to run it single-ended. And with big bass hits, it just caused the dongle DAC to stop. It went silent for a second, and it was on both dongle DACs coming out of my iPhone. So the track was Seven Dust, I think, Denial by Seven Dust. If you don't know that one, check it out. So these do require a bit of juice. So if you're trying to run these off of a dongle DAC at louder volumes, you're probably not going to get it. I got comfortable listening levels if the song wasn't super dynamic. If the song was super dynamic, hip hop, electronic music, even Seven Dust was too much with these on a dongle DAC. Now there could be more dongle DACs out there that have more power, but single-ended, it just wouldn't work with these. I did also run these off of my laptop computer, but if you're considering these, I would make sure that you have probably a headphone amplifier. And you probably don't need something huge, but Skit Manny, is that what it is? Some of the topping SMSL stuff. If you're going on the road with this, I would get one of those semi-powerful portable DAC amps. I think iFi, Hip DAC, Monolith has one, and Topping has an amplifier, the NX7. Anyway, if you're taking these on the road with you, you might want some juice, and you might want something that actually has its own battery, so you're not relying on the battery in your phone to power the dongle DAC, and therefore these. So that could be a potential deal breaker. On to the next state, and we're going to talk about how they sound, and the second potential deal breaker. And I'm hungry. I'm going to get some fast food. Love the fast food. State number 4. 4 states. I know it's only taken a few minutes for you, but it's taken a lot longer for me. We're getting really close to 100,000 subscribers. So if you want some free gear, consider subscribing. I'm going to put a link in the description for the Google form. We have a whole bunch of companies giving stuff away. SVS, Emotiva, Fluence, U-Turn, a whole bunch of cool stuff. You just have to fill out the Google form and then follow me on Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, it's not a deal breaker. Okay? Okay. I love planar magnetics, okay? And usually all of my favorite headphones are planar magnetic headphones. My favorite headphones right now are the Hifiman Edition XS, the Hifiman Sundara. I like the XS better though. The Meze Elite, $4,000. Okay, so that's just absurd. But the LCD X by Odyssey, they have a specific sound, and the sound characteristics is, I think, more clarity, more instrument separation than dynamic drivers. And a dynamic driver is just one single driver. It's what's in most headphones, and it's like a speaker driver. Okay, you know what it is, right? So you can't just say that all planar magnetics sound the same, because they don't. Just like all dynamic drivers sound different. I will say that the characteristics of the, what is it, 400SE, HE400SE, the characteristics or the tuning is similar. So don't mistake me. I'm not saying it's the same. Similar tuning characteristics to the Hifiman Edition XS, which is probably my favorite headphone. There is, however, one potential deal breaker, well, two, because of the power, and that is sibilance. This headphone is a bit sibilant. And when I first heard it, I'm like, ugh. Sibilance for me is kind of a deal breaker. I don't know what it is, but I have a real sensitivity to sibilance, and that's S's and ch and stuff like that. Alanis Morissette, Uninvited, off of the MTV Unplugged record, there is a lot of sibilance, and that can come through on a microphone. It can also be exacerbated by headphones and speakers. So if a headphone or a speaker is a bit sibilant and you have a sibilant recording, then it's going to be obvious. And to me, it's really distracting. These get a pass though. They get a pass with sibilance because they are $107 for an open back headphone. If you have decent power and maybe access to EQ, I think this is probably the best open back you can get at the price. There is the Philips SHP 9500 or 9600. It's a very well regarded open back headphone that's pretty affordable. I still think that's like $150. At $107, this is a compelling headphone. Because if you're new, you're just getting into headphones and you have an amplifier, these are really good. And if you're listening through the computer, there are ways to do some EQ. And it might not be a deal breaker for you at all with the sibilance. For me, it was. Is the Hifiman Edition XS 5 times better or 4.5 times better? Kind of. It really is. The instrument separation, the cleanliness, the soundstage is bigger. The overall sound characteristics are much better on the Hifiman Edition XS. And they should be. They are nearly 5 times the price. This gives you kind of an idea of what that headphone sounds like, but it's a bit sibilant. I'll say this though, it's less sibilant and less fatiguing than the Grados, and people love the Grados. If you like Grado, this is probably a great planar magnetic to take a look at. This has a lot more bass activity than the Sundara does. Sundara's way cleaner though, with way better instrument separation, and the Sundara is not sibilant. If you know what you're getting yourself into, if you know it takes a little bit of power, if you know it's a little bit sibilant, this is one heck of a deal at $107. So if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms, and we have a Patreon-only Facebook group and Discord server. I'll link the Hifiman HE400SE. I feel like I'm getting it wrong. I'll link it in the description. If you click and you buy through that link, I will get a commission. You can also sign up for Amazon Music or Tidal Music. Links in the description. Click on the link, sign up. Even if it's for a trial, I still get a couple of dollars. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen, maybe through your new Hifiman's $107 planar magnetic open back headphones, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man. I'm going to stop filming in the car.